Alright, so we're finally back. I'm Alex Vo, and we're gonna be watching, or actually reacting to this FBG Duck, Chicago's of House of Horrors, and it's by Dropkick again. I think this might be the last one from this series. I'm not 100% sure. There's probably way more I'm probably missing. We'll definitely check the rest of them out as well. And for me, I kind of want to maybe do some true crime stuff for tomorrow's actually video. But let's get started here with the FBG Duck. I know he passed away a while ago, so R.I.P to him, another fallen rapper. That's what we've been seeing pretty much in a lot of these trap geek videos. A lot of fallen rappers. It's just not FBG Ducks. Can be probably way more in these stories. But let's get started.
I love Chris
I
Rich.
heard like a machine gun going off.
Howard Gordon happened to be standing outside his convenience store. His store surveillance captured the horrific sounds.
I knew for sure this was gun.
It was real crazy that would happen right here in this area, out of nowhere. It was quiet and peaceful, and shopping going on, then shots rang out.
Alright, we gotta talk about the FBG Duck situation. And I've seen people on social media making jokes about it. I don't think they realize the horrific consequences.
And of course, when someone dies or fallen rapper or anything like that, people are always, especially from the rival ops and stuff like that, they always be making fun of the other. Well, why can't you just leave the fallen rappers or the dead? Like, can you just leave them alone? Like, let them rest in peace. But of course they don't. But let's continue here.
That's gonna happen as a result of this. FBG Duck was killed in broad daylight in busy downtown Chicago, right next to Saks Fifth and Dolce & Gabbana in the Gold Coast. This is like the high-end luxurious shopping area of the city. Him getting killed there is like someone getting shot on Fifth Avenue in New York, or a drive-by on Rodeo Drive in LA. It's incredibly rare. And of course, Duck is extremely high profile. He's a gangster disciple, longtime rival of Lil Durk, King Von, Chief Keef, and they've been going at it for years. There's been dozens and dozens of casualties on both sides, and 3 weeks ago, Duck dropped a song called Dead Bitches, where he disrespects a couple of fallen O-Block kids, including the deceased kid that O-Block is named after, O.D. Perry. A lot of people think that this song is what triggered Duck's assassination. The gun that FBG Duck is holding in that music video is the same one that jammed up on him on Tuesday when he was killed. But what a lot of people don't know is Chicago PD received a safety alert late on Tuesday that claimed Duck was on social.
And of course, the 26, damn, that's really young still. But all these actually fallen rappers, they're really young. Some of them even in their 20s. So like they don't even live past 40 or even 50. So they don't even get to grow up at all. So that definitely kind of sucks, because this is seems like never gonna end at all. Especially either these rappers, especially if they're in any gangs and stuff like that, they're not gonna be living. They're either gonna be dead or gonna be in a prison cell for the rest of their life, pretty much. That's what we probably gonna be seeing pretty much in all these type of videos. None of them are gonna be alive end of these days, because they will try to find you, and they're never gonna give up finding you as well either, because even if you move countries, they'll probably still try to find you and probably to murder you still as well. So let's continue.
Media antagonizing his rivals hours before he went to the Gold Coast. Then we saw close friends of FBG Duck come out and say he had $1 million bounty put on his head. And I've seen people say this can't be true. Think about a war where one side has music industry money, cash that they can inject directly into their side.
Look how much money Chief Keef and Dirk them to rent off. You niggas will go drop off guns in the hood and pay for a motherfucker to get hit.
Now we're gonna get into all this, but before we do, check out my song of the day. This is my guy Pressa and Houdini.
Right,
let's
so
go.
So let's song of the day, which should be here. Still, how about here? All right.
Regimes who ruled the drug trade, the weapons trade, and the gambling. Decade after decade, it's been clear you cannot control Chicago's gangs. Right now, there's over 150,000 active gang members, split into hundreds of sets and thousands of subsets. The south side of Chicago has
that's really a lot of members, but then again, like, just in Chicago, it seems like all of them live right next to each other. Like, you're not even that far away from your fellow gang members. It seems like in any of these places, they're always like 5-10 minutes away. That's just scary. Like, you're just walking out your doorstep and someone will just be waiting in their car or just waiting for you to walk out and they'll probably shoot you. But let's continue here.
The largest ghettos in America. It stretched over 70 blocks. You can drive from 63rd to 127th Street. There's dilapidated buildings, pitchforks spray painted on the walls, and yellow tape embedded in the cracks. What was once organized gangster.
It was the dog, so it kind of scared the hell out of me. But the dog was just jumping onto the bed. But yeah, he's in my room for right now. But you know, let's continue the story though.
Disciple and Black Disciple factions built around enterprise and making money has since been completely wiped out. The new generation started a completely different war. They're not fighting over drug supply chains or distribution routes. It's just murder. Retaliation for this murder. Revenge for that song, for this diss, and so on.
Fuck being humble. On that disrespectful shit. Fuck Lil Durk, cuz. Niggas know I'm busting off that.
And while it's true, Duck did say in interviews that it was possible to unite with his enemies in the future. He even made a song, Chicago Legends, bigging up the other side and giving props to fallen BD rappers like Fredo Santana and L.A. Capone. But realistically, this shit runs so deep, a truce was never really in the cards.
We the niggas started dissing dead niggas first. We started that shit. You feel me? But, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say I'm the rap father.
And to give you perspective, FBG Duck is from 63rd and St. Lawrence Street, which is just 3 minutes away from O Block. That's how close they are. And just 2 minutes northwest of them is 600 Block, home of 600 Breezy, L.A. Capone, and Rondo, who are O Block allies, and who frequently send shooters to go shoot up 63rd. In fact, immediately after Duck was killed, Chicago PD put almost a dozen squad cars King Drive, which is the main street in between O Block and 63rd. They did that to try and prevent an immediate retaliation, but the cops can't stay there forever. Bulletins are going up all over the area, warning kids to stay inside. And Duck's allies are on social media saying Lil Durk has to be targeted next to even the score. Why? Because their feud is especially personal.
I see Durk. I ain't gonna lie, I see Durk. I had to say something to him, folks. I ain't gonna lie, he too tough for me, folks. I ain't gonna lie to you, he too tough. Well, shit, but I just had to tell him, like, fool, you can't be doing all that, fool. God beat your ass, fool. Like, stop playing with me.
Lil Durk and FBG Duck have been going back and forth over music for years. And now with King Von getting hugely popular, he's...
Okay, whoops, I meant to actually pause there, but instead I stopped the recording part. But let's continue with the story here. I need to go back here. R.I.P to Tuka though, so maybe we'll bring it back a little bit here for this video, because we let's go here, because that's where we actually end up. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. And I try to turn on the volume now, so at least I think I can actually hear the guy talking a little bit more. For some reason, like there's some music I could actually hear from the headset. It's kind of louder, but let's continue here.
FBG Duck whenever he can. Everybody knows Tuka, and smoking on a Tuka pack is a reference mocking one of FBG Duck's best friends, a kid named Tuka, who was killed at a bus stop in 2011. Not only that, Tuka...
Damn, R.I.P to him. Like, R.I.P to all of them. It's like, it's never ending story. Like, we're just gonna keep saying R.I.P to technically every single of these rappers. Like, at what point are you gonna guys stop killing each other? End of the day, probably never, but let's continue here.
His blood brother was a kid named Lil Mark, who was also killed at a different bus stop 3 years later. In fact, Lil Mark was killed just days after releasing a diss track towards Lil Durk, where he mentioned all their dead homies. Lil Reese even FaceTimed Lil Mark days before he was killed, and they exchanged words, calmly dissing each other.
Yeah, he didn't even last that long, just making a music, and then he died a couple of days later. Yeah, it didn't take the route or the other ops took them that quick to just end up murdering him. And goddamn, dude, it's just never ending. That definitely sucks. He just just barely made music, and already like a couple days later he's already dead. Even though you diss people, they're always gonna try to find you. Then ops, they're not gonna be slacking or anything like that. If they see you, you're gonna be dead. So on sight, you're not gonna be living at all, especially making these type of music. but let's continue here.
With a smile on their faces.
What y'all on? Alright. Uh-huh. What up? Out here. I'm on fast, boy. I been out here. I stay out here, boy.
Then Lil Durk made this video at the very same bus stop where Lil Mark was killed.
Hey, this bus stop right here, though, this a real famous place, yeah? This is a real famous place, baby. Hey, this bus stop, that's a real famous.
Man, that's really messed up. But then again, like, these people don't really care about your life, really, so it doesn't really matter. Probably not to them, really, just because you are technically dead. They move on to doing other things as well, like murdering some other people in the near future. But man, just sad watching it.
Place, baby. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying?
And right now, with FBG Duck's death, the optics look crazy. Lil Durk and Vaughn were just out in Chicago, where Vaughn dropped off a bunch of chains and money. There's already been allegations that BD rappers who leave Chicago come back to their blocks to drop off weapons and arm their crews. Then, Tuesday, the day...
One thing too, like, King Von seems like to be almost in a lot of these videos as well. This is not the first time we've seen him. He's like in almost every single video so far that I've seen so far. I know R.I.P to him though, but he seems to be in almost every single video. So let's continue.
The day that Duck was killed, around 4 in the morning, he posted to his personal Facebook page, "They got me effed up. They're gonna see though." Now that could be just a regular post, or there's something more to it, who knows. Later in the morning, he told one of his friends he was going to Oak Street in the Gold Coast, which is the luxurious shopping district of Chicago. He was going to get his son some clothes for his birthday, which was coming up.
Look at the picture and all that stuff. Like, that looks like amazing neighborhood and all that stuff, but it doesn't really matter because if they find you, I don't know. It's kind of strange if someone knows where. Sorry about that. I just got a little jump scare because of the dog. He just actually jumped to the ground. I thought it was someone banging on the door or something like that, but no, it's not the cops. God damn, that would have been scary, right? Or someone try to find me because I was creating all of these videos or just reacting to these videos. But R.I.P. to all of these fallen rappers, though. But even though you're in nice neighborhood, you think you're gonna be safe and all that stuff, but not to the ops and all that stuff. Doesn't matter if you're in a nice neighborhood or not. They're just gonna still find you and still gonna try to shoot at you and end up murdering you. So don't matter seem where you are, even if you're middle of the city, nice city, or even high up in the cities, like the richest cities and stuff like that. They're still gonna end up finding you. But let's continue here.
Up on August 11th. 4 hours before Duck went to the Gold Coast, Lil Reese suddenly tweets that he's getting on a plane leaving Chicago to go to Cali. Durk says to link with him. At 4 in the afternoon, Duck is in the Gold Coast with his girlfriend and another man. They're shopping on Oak Street. This is busy downtown Chicago, the fashion district. There's cameras everywhere, witnesses everywhere. It's a bold place to do a hit on someone, unless that was a place people thought he would be vulnerable in. Around 4:37, FBG Duck, his girlfriend, and this other man exited a store and are walking on the sidewalk near the Dolce & Gabbana, just a few steps from Michigan Avenue. 2 vehicles were parked outside, waiting.
Like, it doesn't look bad at all. Like, it looks like a pretty nice place and safe place as well, but of course it's never anywhere safe, especially if you're a type of rappers like these where they talk and diss each other and stuff like that, and just doesn't matter where you are though. It kind of sucks. Like, at some point too, like, I got a feeling it's not just how they know where you are, but I got a feeling someone else is tipping where he is as well. Could be a friend too. You never know. Someone in the group, or I don't want to go there, but to me at times I got a feeling someone in the group is snitching somewhere. But let's continue here.
A black Ford Taurus and a silver Chrysler 300. That's when 2 men climbed from the 2 vehicles and opened fire 17 times. FBG Duck was hit 3 times in the neck, chest, and groin. He tried to fire back, but his gun jammed on him. Most probably that's because of those extended mags he got aftermarket.
Yeah, that's the sad part. He couldn't shoot back at all because of his gun, but even if he did, I don't think, maybe he was still end up surviving, who knows, but R.I.P. to him though. So maybe we'll try to listen to some of his music. I never really listened to them. I just haven't really listened to music too often, but I think I should start paying attention to listening to music, especially with new music coming out too. Back in the days, yes, I used to listen to music, but now sometimes we're just at home. We don't really pay attention to the radio and stuff like that anymore. Yeah, you can use Spotify. You still get some of the new music, but most of the time we're either on YouTube doing work or doing something, so we're not really paying attention. But yeah, I need to start listening to music for sure. Like my favorite rapper is still Tupac to this day, so I may react to some of his music because most of his songs kind of related. Actually, you can kind of the lyrics as well. Like you kind of could go with what he's saying too as well, because some of the words he does say are technically true and still going on to this day. So let's continue here.
I don't understand why it happened. I don't even know what caused it. It was so calm and peaceful, and those two gentlemen, I thought maybe they was together, but one just started shooting at the other.
Then, the shooters got back in the car and fled west on Oak Street. No reports where they are, no public leads either. Immediately after Duck was pronounced dead at the hospital, Lil Durk tweets out R.I.P. Newski, paying homage to his own cousin who was frequently dissed by FBG Duck and other GD rappers. And to show you how the disrespect transcends distance, Tato, who's Chief Keef's cousin and is all the way out in California, immediately dedicated his—
Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that, but goddamn, really? Can't you just leave the fallen people RIP to them? But come on, can you at least just leave them alone? But I guess they won't. They never learned their lesson technically at this point, because you're gonna be the one next eventually.
His entire Insta story to mocking FBG Duck's death, posting smoking on a duck pack, etc, etc. Then 600 Breezy wasted no time to drop his own diss track towards Duck hours after he was confirmed to be dead. And you can expect in the coming months a bunch of BD rappers to drop some tracks mocking his death as like a celebratory victory lap type shit. The consequences will be horrific, and you gotta think that nobody on Duck's—
Yeah, there are always gonna be consequences to all their actions. Either gonna be in prison cell, or they're gonna be end up missing, or gonna be murdered somehow one way or another. But you don't really hear about the missing part too often. But if this was probably the mafia, yeah, you'd be missing and you probably will never see you ever again. But you never know, that actually do happen. Sometimes they do kidnap people who knows what they do with them, and you probably won't even see them or hear about them. But let's continue here. It's almost over here.
Side has ever gotten as far as he did. Ever since the Chicago drill era exploded in 2011-2012, his side has basically been blackballed from the music industry entirely. Duck was arguably a better rapper and more versatile than most. He had just received the paperwork for a major label deal that was extremely lucrative, and he was about to sign it, or he had already—
Yeah. So that's end of the video there. So RIP to FBG Duck. I think a lot of these fallen rappers, they could have been huge somewhere else, but of course, they have to get into all of these situations where they shouldn't be in. But then again, like, all these rappers could have been huge for sure, and everyone be still listening to their music now. But it kind of sucks you don't hear them anymore because they're passing away. So hopefully this might be the end of this type of series. I might continue. We'll see if there's any other ones too as well. But probably will check in on Trap Geeks. We'll probably react to some of his other videos still as well. But I'm Alex Vo, and I'll see you guys next time.